This is interesting. So take a look. Andrew Berry's allocation of draft selection, and this chart, don't look at it too close. It's a circle. That'll make you dizzy. But what it tells you, offensive tackle gets 19% of the draft allocations, cornerback 16, linebacker 14, defensive tackle and wide receiver 11 apiece, safety 10. And again, some of that is driven by the fact that you haven't drafted a lot of edge rushers because you've had Myles Garrett. But what it tells you is the positions that are valued by Andrew Berry. Any of those surprise you in the least bit, Quincy?
Not really, because again, he inherited an almost complete roster. So there were things that you weren't really going to have to touch here, right? Like the positions that he's looked at, those are things that he's seeing problems down the line in the future, or things that you just want to stay fresh on. I don't really see anything in here that's too surprising, in my opinion. I think Andrew's kind of been pretty good about looking at his issues every year and then just addressing what needs to be addressed. And I don't think he's as locked into certain positions as some people would say. I don't know if the chart really dictates how much he puts value in every position versus how much he feels like he needs it in that given year or two or within the next 3 years.
Yeah, that's fair. The one concerning part is 19% defensive tackles, and that's just been a position. Look at all the defensive tackles that you had to go out and try to sign in free agency. So if you wanted to criticize, they haven't identified the type of defensive tackles that they need. That's probably a fair criticism of what they've done.
Well, I mean, they really haven't even tried to, because yes, they have drafted a lot of defensive tackles, but a lot of these guys were flyers in the 3rd or 4th round. So I don't think this is like they've made a serious attempt at trying to fix the defensive tackle position. And part of that was because Joe Woods just didn't value that position as a coordinator. Now will be interesting because obviously Jim Schwartz does value that position, and knows how to develop that position. So if we can't develop guys in that environment, then I will start to be concerned. But when it comes to what happened under Joe Woods at that defensive tackle position, it was clear it wasn't valued. And when you don't value a position, it's going to be very hard to develop a player in that kind of circumstance. Like, that's kind of the reason I think that existed, was more or less the coaching and the philosophy at the position from the coaching side, more so than like who they were picking and why.